Alright, second episode in, and already I'm kind of excited. Let's just roll in with the credits now before I get kind of weird on the mic. Greetings and salutations, nomads, party people, and strangers everywhere across the internet. My name is V, the lion that you see before you in this new meadow of places, where we're going to be talking about two new artists, where right off the bat we have the Gorillaz and Amy Winehouse. So how do we start this party? By going over the deconstruction majors of the game. Let's roll in a small little bit of our first candidates. Don't think about in this world. Now, although I'd like to talk about the whole animated series of Gorillaz and all the characters such as 2D, Mordock, Noodle, and Russell, along with all the other people including Dell, I want to focus on the real life people that made the band. Of Damon Albarn and Jamie Howlett that created the band in 1998, where their first official debut album of Gorillaz was sold over 7 million copies that earned an entry in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful virtual band. And it has proven time and time again for the last several years now that the Gorillaz have been a giant force of taking a genre and deconstructing it into a beautiful mess with either the vocals, the visuals, the storytelling, storyboard making, or just complete creativity. And as of this time, by the time I'm recording these lines, they're already planning to release their new album after 6 years of Humans, which has been the world going fucking nuts, as Damon has put into interviews, where it's all about, after the 2016 election, how the whole entire world has spiraled into obscure mess and, quite frankly, depravity. Now, aside from all that stuff of backstory, when it comes to the musical sounds and whatnot, every single song, no matter how it takes a different genre, it still sounds like a core pop rock band that's trying to synthesize its way into more creative venues. The greater the value it is, whether it's rock or reggae or electronica or techno, they take it, run with it, and make a full-blown sound that is both a powerful protest of something like eco-terrorism or social commentary, but making it a really cool and downbeat. However, although I would love to talk more about the music in general, the deconstruction is the main entire process of Gorillaz. Where if you take a single track the way they do, like 1999 to 2000, or Do Ya Thing, they can take something like any sort of pop rock song or rap song, take it as generic as it is, but then synthesize it as its own unique flavor and sound, like a very precise dish, which also helps them kind of skyrocket into a more obscure market for those that want to have more of a fusion. But if I were to go into more and more details, we would spend the entire video just talking about them. We have another stellar artist that we need to discuss. Now, this artist is, well, if I'm being honest, it's going to be very hard for me to talk about because of how big of an impact and just how much motivation behind this artist gave me for my own singing that I do. behind the scenes and what I'm still trying to gain confidence to do to this date. So I'm just going to ignore a lot of the backstory with Amy Winehouse and just focus on the music per se. Now, with just 2 studio albums that came out respectively in 2003 and 2006 of Frank and Back to Black, along with a compilation album that came out post-mortem of Lioness Hidden Treasures, we all got to hear the unique, deep, sort of very grounded voice that Amy projected in all of her music, where she grew up around a lot of jazz music, so it influenced her entire style, her message, and how she tried to display a lot grander being of herself when it came to every single thing that she touched, every single song that she portrayed her entire essence and personality onto, to where as soon as you hear the song, you're not really hearing music, you're hearing a real-life story from an artist that can go to those places and bring out a lot of different emotions, whether it's about seeing the one girl that has the fuck me pumps, talking about how love is a losing game, talking about a girl named Valerie, or even just saying that they will never go to rehab. It just feels more like an experience of listening to someone just sit in the room and talking to you, just giving all of these things so that you'd understand that if you've ever been in those positions where you've seen that, witnessed that, or been that thing or person or concept, Amy was the one person that could help you understand that you are not alone. And the more that you heard the songs, the more you just felt more attached to it, the more you just felt engraved into the music, to where it didn't feel like some kind of rushed project that seemed almost artificial. A lot of my favorite songs from Amy would be Know You Now, You Know I'm No Good, Valerie, Stronger Than Me, Me and Mr. Jones, and a whole slew of other songs that I could go on for hours upon hours to talk about. But we're about to hit the 3-minute mark on my side, so I'm just going to stop here and close out with the final remarks of both Amy and the Gorillaz. Now, from a logical standpoint, from many different musical critics, they would just say that these 2 artists have nothing in common. Their sounds are different, their backgrounds are different, and just the entire formula about how they do things are completely wrong. But this is not a review show. This is a break apart and see the similarities sort of show, where if we're just gonna be honest, these 2, as both a group and a singular artist, do come together pretty well as a mishmash thing that would have made a wonderful collaboration, if we're being completely honest. The Gorillaz have this very innately primal sound to just go after everything hardcore, no matter what anyone else thinks. They're just like, why do you have to be this political? Why do you have to be this antagonistic against stuff, against the environment or stuff? Why do you have to be this anti-war, and just not give a flying rat's ass who hates their sound? While Amy herself has this whole euphoric sort of nature with her entire sound and lyrics and everything about her that just exudes a presence of, you have to listen to everything that comes out of her mouth, where she just paves the road for other sorts of enlightening things to enter into your mind the more you just divulge into her music, to where it becomes mind expanding if you just had both of them on the same exact song together, of a fusion of deconstruction with jazz to form into a giant haunting melody that would have echoed for decades. Like, honestly, think about that. The Gorillaz with Amy Winehouse. That would have been a wonderful, fantastic song that would have topped the charts, made a lot of people happy, and would have been a big study of thought for many different musical people that love to hear different sounds just merge together to form into a giant harmony. Not to mention the fact that I believe that Damon and Jamie themselves could have really had a lot of fun making the music video, just to make it transcend over anything involving music or poetry or movies or animation itself and make it a masterpiece for the eyes to see, as well as a masterpiece for the ears to listen to. There is no real measure for when you can compare both of these two, when the similarities, like with any other person in music, is far more grander and a lot more intellectual than just trying to break them down and just say how disgustingly different they are. Where at the heart of it all, like I'm going to say a lot throughout this entire series, music is universal. And when you find artists that kind of hold those truths as to it's a universal voice that no one can take away from you, these two are good prime examples that I wanted to touch base with everyone, so that you'd see that even if it's a pop band that deconstructs music, or one jazz singer that died long before her time, it was all set to say that music is for everyone. And no matter what your imagination level can be, your talents will make you soar higher than any critic or any single analyst can ever say about you. Thank you all once again for joining me for this month's edition of Music Perspective. And just as a little teeny tiny treat for you guys, I'm just going to say two things. One, the intro for the episode is going to be changed up a little bit during May, as we're also doing filming for something else. And also I'm going to give you a sneak peek into one of the artists we're talking about in June. So hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you again in 2 months with another Music Perspective.
As we begin to